Considering this is about 8 years old.
Equal for me, flipping. Equal for me, flipping. Yeah, ready to fuck. Equal for me. Gang keep me twitching.
It's definitely like an adrenaline rush, like when it starts to become like when you know you're erupting like the whole room, you know. There's definitely that feeling. Wow, like I have to like kind of like stay in this energy.
Is that what people tell you?
What people tell me?
Mm-hmm.
That I.
That's an interview without like a sick burn.
I know. I agree. It's good. That's definitely gonna.
First of all, just to let you know, we're going to do some crowd participation tonight, okay? So everybody's involved, everybody's here, all right? So when I say hail, you say Hydra, okay? We're going to try this out, okay? So 1, 2, 3, hail! Hydra! Captain America would have hit it.
I don't know, I do just try to figure out how to be myself on stage after, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out how to be, and all that really means is figuring out how to be yourself. I mean, I think if you can sort of like develop this like comedy persona or whatever, but I don't really care for people who do too much of that, and you end up in a little bit of you end up stuck in it.
One of those types of conversations, right? Hail! Hydra! See, y'all ain't listening. I swear to God, y'all ain't listening.
I saw a lot of people dressed as Waldo today. Was there something going on? Was there like a day? Or are they just hipsters? Like, I was like, it's just one of those hipster things where it's like, really, why are you doing this? And all I could think was that they'd be like, well, not only did I find Waldo, I became him. Like, so that's nice. Please fuck off and hide then. And I was like, he's a person at like the bouncer for a bar, and I was like, one of these days too, just gonna hide one, like in his direct line of vision. And like over like the 6 hours he's there, he'll see it.
That it gets so like Denver's just got a huge comedy scene. So like if I say like, well, have you ever gone up to Denver? You know, my approach to comedy might not strike you as being unique if you've gone up to Denver, because you see a dozen other guys doing it.
No, yeah, but so I'm dating this guy though. He's way, way taller than me, which is kind of weird. He has like really broad shoulders. Like I'm not really like small, I'm short, and I have like little T-Rex arms. So one of the most awkward things I realized in our relationship though is like when I have to be the big spoon, because the other night we were like going to sleep and he like flipped the other way and I was like, what are you doing? And because he was like, well, where are you going? And I was like, you flipped that way, so I was going this way. I was like, I was gonna go wrap myself up like a burrito over here. And he was like, no, like come snuggle with me. And I was like, but you're faced that way. And he was like, well, like you can be big spoon. And I was like, okay. And so literally, like if he is like about comparatively to me, like the size, like the height of this fucking door, and his shoulders are really broad. So spooning this guy for me is like.
Hey everybody, like doing stand-up comedy? That's fun. Yeah. I do stand-up comedy because I'm lonely inside, but then again, I'm lonely inside because I do stand-up comedy. So, wish if I could pick a less self-destructive hobby, I wouldn't feel the need to talk about how self-destructive it is.
There's not a lot of competition for stage time or anything like that, so it just kind of depends. You can get faster and you can get better faster if you're disciplined. So,
do you consider yourself disciplined?
No, no, I'm the worst. I gotta fix it. It drives it, kill it. It's ugh. My whole thing, I just need to start actually crafting material.
It's been successful in China. There have been like 30 births produced by panda porn. Not so successful in the United States. which proves that Asian porn is universally more enjoyable than American porn.
And I guess it's, guys, have you noticed that bestiality is in the news more and more? You know, it might be the company I keep, comedians, but I hear about it more and more, and over the weekend a guy broke into the San Diego Zoo and was going after antelope. He was a repeat offender. And they caught him like, what is your problem? He goes, you know, once you go yak, you can't go back. You guys, have you ever noticed that bad Catholics, we do not make bad people. We do not make bad people. We make really bad Baptists.
Women, even if we're not yelling at you in the streets, like classless, like trash, like we're thinking it. Like men, like you see, like you watch a girl walk by, a really hot girl, and the first thing a dude starts doing is like, wonder what she looks like naked. I'm gonna try to discern with my eyes. Like we're all like feel that there's like this Superman X-ray vision that we can just tap into if we try hard enough, and our minds run wild. And like that's horrible because like women, like even when they're not being verbally like assaulted sexually, it's happening in the like brains of men all the time. It's just like, yeah, and it's never something nice. It's never like, oh, you know, I'd take her home, cook her a dinner, you know, watch a movie that we would both find entertaining, open my best bottle of wine, treat her right, and maybe at the end we could get intimate, it would be soft, passionate, down by the fire. That's never the fantasy, is it, fellas? No, it's always like, oh, I'd fuck her in a bathroom.
And when guys are like, I'd fuck the shit out of that. Julian, when guys say shit like that, I'm like, you'd fuck the shit out of a pig with a fucking, like, human enough face. That doesn't matter.
Bitch, I made you. Oh, meanwhile, bitch, I made you, governor. I apologize for that one. Because Germany talked her into taking a little pill that she couldn't pronounce. Why is nobody checking on her? Also, why is she the only one with an
It's just a personality issue. It's just being like massively disorganized and a huge procrastinator, and I think that I guess I must get off on it or something like that, because even in like college, right, I was an English major, right, so I had to write all these papers and stuff, right, and I never started typing up, I never started a paper more than 24 hours before it was due, whether it was like a 5-page deal, whether it was like a 24-page deal, you know. Every single paper I wrote in college, I got good grades and whatever, you know, fine. But I always did them in like a panic, and so I do comedy kind of the same way.
I don't mean to be a downer, I don't mean to bring the energy down in the room and everything, but I recently discovered that my spirit animal is E. coli. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people go like unicorn, antelope, something with wings, you know, but I'm a realist. I shouldn't talk about how lazy that chicken is, though. I'm as lazy as it gets. I made a voodoo doll to make it easier to masturbate. I mean, like, when you're too lazy to masturbate, somebody needs to intervene.
You're gonna have just more, you know, because almost anybody can kind of go up and like tell a story, and you can't necessarily tell a good story. I'm not saying that like storytelling is something that, you know, anybody can do. It's really hard, right? But like, just as far as not being afraid to do it, you know, like telling a joke, that's something that's just inherently intimidating.
Is anybody else here glad that like male sex toys have finally caught up in quality and functionality to female sex toys? It worked just as good. It is just as finely polished. But 30,000 years later, we finally figure out whatever space-age substance makes fleshlights possible. And now, gender equality can be ours. I am a genius because when I was 13 years old and figured out how to masturbate, I had the foresight to film myself doing it. That's right, my parents' handy cam. For years, I did it every day after school, and now I have 2 things at home that a lot of you guys don't have. An incredible kitty porn collection, and a little bit of a loophole, because it's me. Pretty sure I can't get arrested for that shit. I'm not 100% sure, so you guys want to keep that on the down low.
Like the first time I did stand-up, I just kind of wanted to see what it looked like from up there, because I know what it looks like from watching other people.
Yeah, I know. I totally get that. Yeah.
So like, what does it even look like? I don't even know where to start with like writing material or whatever. I just want to see what it looks like from up there. And so you go up there and you look, and you're like, oh my god, this is insane. You know. And you know, I do it completely baked almost all the time, so it's even like, ugh. So the first time I just went up there to see what it was like, and I was like, okay, now I get what it's like to be up there.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't matter, but I was doing it from that sort of like selfish perspective of I want to get up there and do it. I still have this sort of selfish perspective at open mics. Sometimes it's all about I'm trying to do this thing.
Yeah.
And for the last 6 months, it's like I'm trying to learn how to get comfortable just being myself.
Mm-hmm. What's the difference between telling a story and telling a joke?
Funny story. That was a joke. I first thought of that joke while I was sitting here, and you had just asked me, what's the difference between telling a story and a joke? And, you know, at first I didn't know what to say or anything like that, and I was kind of overwhelmed with anxiety, but sometimes the pressure to say something funny just forces a joke out of your mouth.